Hoping that they're hell ring, things like you heard on the decks. Glover hold the court and give the chief no suspect. Politics in the mix, like Gumbo Stewart Rich. Spinning tales from Black Wall Street, real life's the pitch. Donnie Glover Show, read more news. Donnie Glover Show, read more news.
Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. How you doing, man?
Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17, Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brung it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food.
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
That's right.
We got more than we can use. We got more than we can handle ourselves. We try to let it flow. Let it flow to the next person.
Yeah. We're proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And we're proud of your son.
Thank you.
You're watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Business sticks hotter than lava. Got that Midas touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse, dropping wisdom like Hova. Each word a joke. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to gains. Donnie the narrator, truth runs in veins. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. Donnie Glover Show, be more news.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Today's guest is the one, the only, LAKISHA Greenwade. Yay!
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's an exciting week, Donnie. I'm outstanding. I'm really excited for the city this week.
Do tell. Why?
Well, this week is a huge week for Baltimore's Black-led nonprofits. The organization collectively, which is led by Jamie Wooten, has put together a significant community-led fundraiser to create a goal of raising $2 million for Black-led nonprofits. And I'm pleased to lead one of the best innovation-led nonprofits called Wearable Tech Ventures. And so we're a part of that initiative this week. So it's really exciting.
Tell us more.
Well, each organization had the opportunity to develop a page and discuss what they are fundraising for. And we are leaders in innovation, developing new technology, inclusive of AI. But what we're really doing that impacts the community here is we are working with Baltimore youth as well as aspiring entrepreneurs, teaching them the basics of tech, teaching them facets of AI, and then giving them a pathway to monetize that. So one of the ways they can do that is by developing an idea and going down a path to become an inventor and then ultimately an entrepreneur. And we don't gatekeep because we provide direct access to investors as well as to organizations such as partners like Under Armour and Amazon, who vet these ideas and determine if they could go into their portfolio or have investment. But here's the thing, Donnie, for the past 2 years, we've had middle school youth who have had amazing ideas that these companies were interested in. So that's why it's so important that the community knows about Wearable Tech Ventures, knows what our impact can be, and help us put Baltimore on the map for our genius and our innovation.
Wow. When you mention inventions, I think of all of the African American inventions that were stolen.
Yes. Yes. And that's one of the reasons we have worked directly with USPTO, which means the United States Patent and Trademark Office. By the way, Donnie, I don't know if you know this. In February, I was honored by USPTO at the American History Smithsonian as an innovator designing the future. And so they had me there with one of the inventors of the sports bra. And basically, they were saying that she was handing the baton to me to develop new innovations and create a new generation of inventors.
Does that mean a new generation of sports bras came out of this?
It can. I will say that in September, Wearable Tech Ventures will be convening and sharing some of our new technologies that are impacting professional sports.
So I'm a little unsure. Do you invent items?
Good question. So we are the organization that helps to train and to cultivate innovators, as well as those that are just interested in creating new products, those that want to put their creativity to the table and have it materialize into something. So ultimately, in the tech world, we're known as what's called an ecosystem. And what that means is we build the bridge between those that are innovators, those that are budding entrepreneurs, and we connect them to resources such as USPTO, the Patent and Trademark Office. We connect them to organizations such as the Under Armours of the world. We connect them to investors, the leading investors from Silicon Valley all around the world, to materialize their dream. And at the same time, we are a leader in that education. Fun fact, Donnie, we are one of the first organizations in the country to provide AI training to youth and to the community at no cost.
So give me some success stories. I hear this, I see this pretty picture. Now let's put some meat on the bones.
Okay, some meat on the bone. So without stating the exact teams, because I have to save that announcement for September, but your favorite team that you root for in the NFL is using some wearable technology that came out of our camp. Google actually this year announced a collaboration on the fashion tech side where people can use their technology and AI to determine what they want to wear in their wardrobe. This was similar to an idea that came out of a Baltimore City youth a year ago. There's also technology for sleep apnea. I know that's a huge deterrent in the Black community. I know many folks that have those bulky machines where they have to travel with them or whatnot. We actually have a founder out of Houston that developed a new sleep apnea device that's not bulky, that uses AI, and that's coming to the market. So we're impacting spaces such as med and health tech and even sports. It's some of the favorite people that you root for on the basketball court or the football field are using, as well as how you get dressed every day.
Have you been able to put a dollar amount on your contribution thus far?
Great question. That we need to do, and I keep alluding to September when we host our AI summit, where we can share our true impact, but we're holding all of that until September in New York.
So tell us about New York.
In New York, we are hosting our inaugural AI summit. And this is where we're bringing all of the key players in our ecosystem, from investors, top investors, partners that want to work with us, university partners, accelerators, incubators, and our founders all in one place. And we're going to share these technologies, and our discussion is going to be specific on AI. So we're going to have an AI keynote from one of our senior advisors. And then we are going to move into discussions about data and how does data work when we're talking about integrating data into multiple wearable devices. And then we'll discuss, and we'll have a panel with people who have developed the actual devices that are in all these segments, from sports to fashion to health. And then I'm going to close out with a fireside chat with one of our executive advisors from the Boeing Company, talking about our story and where we're going And ultimately, that is how we are impacting not only those that we have direct access to from our programs, but other programs where we can share our knowledge and our curriculum so that we can make it easier for our community to, number one, engage and understand an AI, and also we can help them with accessing materials to develop new technologies that they may not have known how to do on their own.
Is AI racist?
That's a very good question. Depending on who you talk to, you might get a yes, and then depending on who you talk to, you might get a no. What I will say is,
I'm talking to you.
There have been instances where AI has been used in technology that has not been to the benefit of those with melanin. For instance, with facial identification, when we think about job reporting or even applying to jobs, when we think about applying for loans. So there's some work that needs to be done. And this is why it's important that we are engaged and that we're training our community, not only on basic facets, but then also how to get engaged into the field so that we can create the change that we want to see.
LAKISHA, you're kind of skirting over that. America is home to apartheid. We have some of the most racist, terrorizing, non-Black people, and you got some Black people that will fall into that category too. Yes. America's not been kind to us.
It has
not. I'm not trying to mess up your interview or mess up your flow.
I'm telling the truth.
But these people have demonstrated to us who they are. I mean,
yes,
you can't even cut on social media today without seeing either a non-Black from law enforcement pulling over a Black person, a Black person dealing with microaggressions of a non-Black person in a Burger King. Everywhere we go, this melanin seems to cause some angst among a lot of people who don't have melanin.
Yes.
And then we look at the overall state of this country. This country would rather have a pedophile rapist in office than a Black woman of color.
Yes.
So no, their credit is shot. No, we don't trust a lot of things. Even things that we were a part of creating, because of racism.
And that's why it's so important that we're at the table. So Wearable Tech Ventures is pioneering a path for inclusion. So let me just even take it back to some studies that were done in the past especially like in health, right? And I could specifically talk about wearable technology and bring that up to AI. When we think about some of the earlier studies that were done on these health devices, and this was historic MIT data, out of Boston, most of the studies were only conducted on white males. And so what we've seen is overall a distrust in the system and as it relates to health. The danger with carrying that same perspective into technology today is that it can prohibit us from being at the table and training and actively integrating our knowledge and our blocks into the technology that could ultimately help Black people long term. So right now, as it stands, and I've talked to members of Congress, I advise them on different methods of AI as well as technology that is coming out of wearables, which, by the way, a lot of police forces use, and sometimes, and in certain cases, some districts have stopped them from using like the body cams. That's wearable technology, right? But there's a justice as well as an economic issue that's here at hand. And in the past, a lot of the training of these AI data sets, and I may be going deep for some of the folks that may not be in this world, but ultimately,
we understand racism very well.
And,
well, I'm kind of finding my way through the different jargon and language that you're using, but it don't take AI to figure out a racist. We know them like the back of our hand. We have our own AI. We can sense them. As soon as we hear the whoop whoop, If you black, you know that sound. And our interpretation of whoop whoop is a little different than a non-black person because we know whoop whoop can lead to death.
Right, absolutely.
So
And
it's very serious.
It is
for
very
us.
serious.
And mind you, there are those, whether they ever have a computer, AI, or anything of the like, who are still disaffected. We've heard this story.
Yes. Yes.
500 years.
Yes, it's systemic. It's systemic. And here's the thing. This is why it's so important to get activated now, right? Well, even when we look at technology, this is systemic. When you think about who holds the purse strings to invest in technologies and then ultimately gains wealth to do other things, it ultimately, the bigger picture is not us, right? Although we have some people that are growing in their wealth stature to change that dynamic. But this is why it's so important that Wearable Tech Ventures is at the table and pioneering this initiative to bring our people to the table to engage and learn this technology and develop new things. Because
why don't we create our own? Why don't we create our own table?
Data sets are very vast and it takes a lot. However, what we need to do
And only white people can do this?
No, definitely not saying that. What I'm saying is ultimately, AI is new to the public, but AI has been around for years. It didn't just come around. It's been around for years. Like even back, with the entry of the cell phone and back with the internet, the delivery of the internet. AI is old. However, it's only gotten, if I could say this, sexy to mainstream now because there's been multiple applications. But the challenge here, and this is what I want to get to, Doni, is that many of the data sets have been fed by people that don't look like us.
We know.
And so that's why we are taking the stance to educate our people, to educate our youth, to develop a pathway of entry so that we can change that dynamic. Because right now, AI is in a phase.
Can our kids change a racist house?
It's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Nah, this elephant is poisonous.
It is poison.
Every
but
bite,
every part is poisonous.
But every bite we're trying, with every bite we're taking on someone else's strengths, but also their toxicity.
I understand.
So you're bringing kids into a house that's already been poisoned.
No, I wouldn't say that, Doni, because that's a pessimistic.
They are poisoned. Look at this country.
That's a pessimistic mentality that leads to fear, that leads to inaction.
I'm not afraid. These people that you got me living around are afraid. Well, they're afraid of a black man taking a white woman. That's why in all these movies, the black man you find dying trying to save the white woman.
Yeah.
And then on the home front, the sister said, "Why are you looking at that white woman?" Don't blame me. Blame them. But when are they going to take responsibility for their actions? When is AI going to say all 20 of these are the most racist non-black people in history, and these 20 black people are complicit, so y'all don't need to call them your homeboys?
I hear you. There's some historic and also some dynamics that ring loud today. But getting to the point, Doni, what's most important is that our people do not sit on the sidelines and watch all of this pass by and miss all the opportunity for development. When we think about AI, we're in the early stage. So there's still time for us to engage and get involved and to develop. So how many of you, or Doni, do you remember back in the day when they used to have like those AOL CDs that could be mailed to your house and that's how you would get on the internet? I equate that to the phase of where we are right now in AI. Even though it may be moving fast, that means that there's still a lot of time for development or opportunity, not necessarily time. There's still opportunity for development. And we cannot afford to have our youth not engaged. We cannot afford to have our people saying, oh, that AI stuff, or I'm over that. No, because it's impacting our everyday lives. And so that's why we're taking an active stance to say, hey, let's make this palatable. let's put this together in a way where you can understand it, where you can engage in it, so that you could determine what the next step is that you want to be. We are providing that opportunity.
You're pretty optimistic. I don't know if you say so.
There's a lot at stake if we don't come to the table.
There's been a lot at stake.
We're seeing genocide. We're seeing genocide on the news and in other feeds, right? We're seeing that happen in real time. I'm telling you, Black people are at stake of genocide if we don't engage in AI today.
It's already been genocide. That's what I'm saying. These people have shown, look at Africa, Francophone Africa, the French-speaking countries. They finally kicking the French out after 400 years. These people have shown us who they are, with AI or without.
Well, I'm really excited about what's happening in Africa. And actually, we were engaged with the Mandela Fellows that were here in Maryland for the past 2 months. And actually, we're partnering with some of the African countries to integrate some of our pathways for learning AI and wearable tech. So I'm sure.
Are you going to Africa? I say that because, LAKISHA, Black people are often talking about going to Paris and the Eiffel Tower. Black people want to go to Dubai, considering that they just ended slavery in 1971. We're so goofy.
Yeah.
Why would I want to go to the home of the people that kidnapped my ancestors? Plus, it's dirty.
Yeah, well, I think we're seeing a huge transition with folks wanting to take trips to the motherland. So I could tell you, I was originally supposed to go to South Africa during the pandemic, and that's when the Omicron variant hit. And so my entry into the continent has been delayed. However, we've seen a number of folks. I mean, Lauryn Hill, EYL recently was in the country of Benin. A lot of folks have been going to Nigeria and doing a number of different things, right? So I believe there's a huge opportunity. Do I have aspirations and will I be going? Yes, especially as we define and refine, these partnerships to extend what we're doing. So here's the thing, Baltimore. It would be a shame if we're based right here in Baltimore and we have more consideration for our work in other places outside of Baltimore. That would be a shame.
I blame the educational system. You pay this lady to run the school system $350,000 a year. Is she talking about AI?
I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to have a conversation.
I thought, isn't that where the rubber meets the road? And I say that because in terms of public education, they get massive amounts of money from the lottery that Black people pay.
I do know that there needs to be some accountability reporting as relates to where that funding is going. But we are focusing on where can we make our greatest impact and how can we be accountable to the people that look like us.
I'll tell you, in the criminal justice system, this country incarcerates 25% of the world's inmates. Nearly 40% of them are Black men. Let's start with mass incarceration. Mm-hmm. Do you know they will violate a person if they don't check in on their cell phone on time?
It's horrible. There's a lot of horrible stories, a lot of horrible things that are happening to our people behind the scenes. And then the question for me is, how can we best help? And so that's why I've chosen to focus on this particular path that can not only help to identify ways for enhanced justice, because wearable technology is used in the justice system, but then also lead a path to some economic enhancement so that we can fund what it is that we want to see. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, ultimately, for all of the systemic issues. However, we have already made some traction with some wins that can help to attract others to this field so that they feel empowered and supported to do the same.
What can people do to assist you?
August 8th, go to the Collectively site. We also have a link in our bio at Wearable Tech Ventures on Instagram as well as LinkedIn. And you can support us with a donation for our wearable tech and AI kits, and then also help support us for that kid, or if you want to help support us with training others in the community or adding to our staff, because it is critical. And we're starting here at home. We have love all over the world. We have founders and supporters in 4 other continents, Doni. But what we need to see is support here in Baltimore, because I started this organization based off of my love and what I've seen in Baltimore. And I'm not even from here, but I've been here 20 years. I call Baltimore home as an adult. And we're not being, gatekeepers where we're just holding this technology within our own organization. What we have developed in the form of these learning STEM kits is something that can be leveraged with other organizations, other foundations. So like, what's that? Torrey Smith, his foundation, hit us up to use our kits and our curriculum in your programming. Other folks that are doing programs here for youth and focus on STEM, hit us up, leverage this, because we have track records of success and we want everybody in Baltimore to be successful. So help us with the donation on August 8th at Wearable Tech Ventures.
Good deal. I'm going to give you a minute to do your final spiel, and then we're going to get on out of here.
All right. So thank you so much, Doni, for the opportunity to be here. If you are wanting to learn more about artificial intelligence or the field of wearable technology, please make sure you pay attention to some of my posts that I'll be sharing over the next month on LinkedIn under my name, LAKISHA GREENWADE. And then also you can follow the tag at Wearable Tech Ventures and look at the links to see just the impact that we've been making. We started out here with the opportunity to share the genius that is here in Baltimore. And we curated a program over 5 years that's been tested with our own curriculum at University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And now we want to package up something to make it easier for everyone to have access, because we know our bandwidth has been limited in the past. And so I ask that you support us and join us as we are developing the next generation of inventors and entrepreneurs and those that could take action that helps us overall break down the system when we think about from a justice and an economic system. That's what you're doing when you make a donation at Wearable Tech Ventures. Thank you.
Good deal. LAKISHA, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch up with you later today.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Good deal. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, world.